I awoke with a start to the shrill ringing of the phone, disoriented and groggy. Rubbing my eyes, I picked up the receiver, unprepared for the words that would change my life forever. "Emma, sweetheart, there's been an accident. Your parents." Aunt Mabel's voice wavered, barely able to finish the sentence. As she told me about the car crash and the paramedics' efforts to save them, I felt my world crumbling around me. The days that followed were a blur. I sat in a haze of disbelief and grief, watching as funeral arrangements were made. I found myself on autopilot, nodding and murmuring words of thanks to friends and family who offered their condolences. The funeral was held on a crisp autumn day, leaves crunching underfoot as we walked towards the gravesite. My younger siblings, Lily and Max, clung to me, their eyes red and swollen from crying. I tried my best to hold back my own tears, determined to be strong for them. As we stood by our parents' graves, Lily's voice trembled as she read a poem she had written. "I'll always cherish the memories we made, and the love that you gave. In our hearts, you'll forever stay." After the service, Aunt Mabel pulled me aside, her voice soft and concerned. "Emma, I know this is difficult, but we need to talk about what's next for Lily and Max." "What do you mean?" I asked, my voice barely audible. "Your parents named you the legal guardian in their will. They wanted you to take care of your siblings if something ever happened to them." I stared at her, feeling a cold wave of panic wash over me. I was only 25, barely managing my own life, let alone being responsible for a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old. "Emma, do you understand what this means?" Aunt Mabel asked, her eyes searching mine for reassurance. I understand," I managed to choke out. The days turned into weeks, and I did my best to adjust to my new reality. I tried to maintain a sense of normalcy for Lily and Max, making sure they went to school, finished their homework, and attended their after-school activities. It wasn't easy. Some nights, I found myself sitting at the kitchen table, bills and paperwork spread out before me, feeling the crushing weight of responsibility on my shoulders. As we settled into our new roles, Lily and Max began to show signs of the emotional toll our parents' deaths had taken on them. Lily withdrew into her room, spending hours writing in her journal or listening to music. Max, on the other hand, became clingy and anxious, seeking comfort and reassurance at every turn. I did my best to be there for them, even when I felt like I was barely holding myself together. We'd sit on the living room floor, surrounded by photo albums, and share our favorite memories of our parents. Some nights, we'd huddle together on the couch, watching our parents' favorite movies and eating popcorn. As the days turned into months, we learned to navigate our grief and new responsibilities. But I knew that the journey ahead of us was just beginning, and that our lives would never be the same. One Sunday afternoon, as the rain tapped gently against the windows, I found myself sifting through the remnants of our parents' lives. I had ventured into their bedroom, determined to sort through their belongings and preserve their memories. While rummaging through the depths of their closet, I stumbled upon a dusty old shoebox, tucked away behind stacks of sweaters. Curiosity piqued, I pulled it out and opened the lid. Inside, I discovered a collection of letters, the pages yellowed with age and filled with faded ink. "Emma, what did you find?" Lily asked, peering over my shoulder as she entered the room. "I'm not sure yet, but it looks like a bunch of old letters," I replied, my hands shaking as I unfolded the first piece of paper. As we sat on the floor, our backs against the bed, the three of us read through the letters, captivated by the secrets they held. We learned about our parents' early years, their elopement, and the estrangement from their families that followed. Lily, Max, it turns out that our parents eloped when they were just 18. They were deeply in love, but their families disapproved of their relationship, I explained, my voice filled with both shock and admiration. Lily's eyes widened. So, our grandparents didn't even know we existed for a while? It seems that way, I replied, feeling a pang of sadness for the years our parents had lost. Max furrowed his brow, his voice small and uncertain. Why didn't Mom and Dad ever tell us any of this? I sighed, unsure of how to answer. I think they wanted to protect us. They didn't want us to know about the pain they went through. The revelation of our parents' past stirred up a mix of emotions within each of us. Lily became angry, her frustration evident in her tone. How could they hide something like this from us? Didn't they trust us? Max, on the other hand, seemed to struggle with feelings of confusion and abandonment. Do you think they would have told us eventually, Emma? I'd like to believe they would have, I replied, hugging him close. In the days that followed, the atmosphere in our home became tense, the weight of our parents' secrets bearing down on us. It felt as if the very foundation of our family had been shaken, leaving us uncertain of where to turn for solace. Determined to keep us together, I called a family meeting one evening. We gathered in the living room, the glow of the fireplace casting flickering shadows on the walls. Listen, I began, my voice firm but gentle. We can't change the past, but we can choose how we move forward. Our parents loved us more than anything in the world, and I know they wanted us to be happy. Lily looked down, her anger giving way to vulnerability. I just feel so betrayed. I know, I acknowledged, reaching for her hand. But let's use this as an opportunity to grow closer and learn from their mistakes. We're all we have left, and we need to support each other. As we shared our feelings and fears, the walls between us began to crumble. We found solace in each other, understanding that our parents were not perfect, but their love for us was unwavering. Slowly, we began to heal, our family bond growing stronger with each passing day. The challenges we faced in the wake of our parents' deaths went beyond the emotional. As I pored over the financial documents and bills left behind, I realized that our family's financial situation was dire. Our parents had been struggling with mounting debt, and now the responsibility of resolving it fell on my shoulders. I picked up extra shifts at work, often returning home late, exhausted, and feeling the crushing weight of our financial burdens. Meanwhile, Lily and Max were dealing with their own struggles at school. Lily's grades began to slip, and Max was having trouble making friends, his anxiety becoming increasingly apparent. One evening, as I sat at the kitchen table, piles of bills and paperwork surrounding me, I broke down in tears. I felt utterly overwhelmed, fearing that I wouldn't be able to keep our family afloat. Lily, who had been in the living room doing her homework, rushed over and wrapped her arms around me. Emma, we'll get through this. We have each other. I wiped my tears, grateful for her support. You're right, Lil. We have to keep going, for Mom and Dad. As the weeks went by, our family dynamic shifted. We had always been close, but now we relied on each other more than ever. We divided up household chores, each of us contributing in our own way. Lily took on the role of cooking dinner, exploring new recipes and finding joy in feeding our little family. Max became my right-hand man, helping me with grocery shopping and running errands. One afternoon, as we sat in the living room discussing our finances, Max piped up. "Emma, what if we have a garage sale? We could sell some of our old stuff and make some extra money." I smiled, proud of his initiative. "That's a great idea, Max." The following weekend, we held the garage sale, our front yard filled with items we no longer needed. Neighbors and passers-by stopped to browse and chat, offering support and encouragement. We managed to raise a modest sum, but it was more than just the money. We felt a renewed sense of hope and determination. One evening, as I returned home from work, I found Lily and Max huddled together in the living room, a pile of brochures spread out before them. "What are you two up to?" I asked, curious. "We were thinking about ways we could help out more," Lily explained. "We found some information on after-school programs and clubs that could help us improve our grades and make new friends." I felt a swell of pride, my heart warmed by their resilience and determination. "That sounds wonderful. Let's look through these brochures together and see what might be a good fit." As we faced each challenge head-on, we grew stronger and more united. We learned the true meaning of family, discovering that together, we could overcome anything life threw our way. The days grew shorter and the leaves began to change as autumn gave way to winter. Our family had weathered the storms of loss, grief, and uncertainty, but we were emerging stronger and more resilient than ever before. One evening, as we sat together in the living room, a fire crackling in the hearth, I broached the subject of the upcoming holidays. "Christmas is just around the corner, and I think we should do something special to celebrate," I suggested, looking at Lily and Max. Max's eyes lit up. "Can we go ice skating? We used to do that with Mom and Dad every year." Lily nodded in agreement, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "It would be a nice way to remember them and start our own traditions." And so, we planned our holiday celebrations, focusing on the love and togetherness that had sustained us through the darkest of times. We baked cookies, decorated the tree, and exchanged thoughtful, handmade gifts. As we ice skated together on Christmas Eve, our breath visible in the cold winter air, I realized that our family's story was not defined by tragedy, but by the love and determination that had carried us through it. One day, after the holidays had passed, I found Lily sitting on the porch, her sketchpad open on her lap. I sat down beside her, curious to see what she was drawing. "It's a picture of us," she explained, showing me the sketch of our family, Max and me, standing protectively behind her, our faces filled with determination and love. I smiled, touched by her artwork. "It's beautiful, Lily." She looked up at me, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you, Emma. You've been our rock. I don't know what we would have done without you." Feeling the weight of her words, I realized that my own dreams and ambitions were not lost, but had simply shifted to accommodate the new responsibilities I had taken on. I began to see a future where I could be both a loving guardian and pursue my own goals. Encouraged by this revelation, I decided to enroll in night classes at the local community college, determined to finish my degree and set an example for Lily and Max. "I'm proud of you, Emma," Max said, as he hugged me tightly the night before my first class. "You're showing us that it's never too late to chase your dreams." As the months turned into years, our family continued to grow and adapt. We faced new challenges and celebrated victories, both big and small, always leaning on one another for support and encouragement. Our parents' love and wisdom lived on within us, guiding us through the highs and lows of life. We embraced our struggles, knowing that they were part of our journey and that, together, we could overcome anything. And so, we moved forward, bound by the unbreakable bond of family and the love that had carried us through the darkest of times. We were survivors, and we would continue to thrive, no matter what life had in store for us.